This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Welcome to this special edition of Good Morning Suncoast as Hurricane Irma moves closer to our area. I'm Adam Cellini.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. It's Saturday, September 9th. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's get right to the latest on Hurricane Irma. John joins us now with some more information on that latest track.
Yeah, we're all over this one. We are double teaming it in the Weather Center and keeping a very close watch. Of course, as you may well know, the track changed a little more to the west last night. And with that westward shift comes an increased risk for us for some worse weather, stronger storms, stronger possibilities of tornadoes, and of course some stronger sustained winds and gusty winds, especially as we head into that kind of main period when the storm will affect us most greatly, and that will probably be on Sunday into Monday right now. That time frame part has remained unchanged. We have some changes in watches and warnings. We have some updates on the current status of the storm. We're going to toss to my friend Steve Newman for that, and he's going to go over those details for you, and I'll give you the forecast and show you the updated track.
John, we do have hurricane warning in effect through all of our viewing area. If you go outside now, the weather is not that bad. You look up, the moon is up there. We also have the stars out, the sun's starting to come up. So this is the calm before the storm. Taking a look at our current watches and warnings. We have a hurricane warning in effect across most of Florida. And that is in effect and really until Tuesday afternoon, extends down to the Bahamas. And the latest satellite and radar shows the storm skirting the coast of Cuba. And Johnny, you want to take it and do this forecast?
All right, thanks very much. We're looking at, again, these are the updated forecast tracks here. This is as of 5 a.m. and what I want to show you here is that the wind speeds have decreased just a little bit. We'll continue to watch this storm lift northward. Around Sunday, it'll probably move to the northwest for about another 12 to 24 hours, after which by Sunday morning, we'll start to watch a more northerly turn. And that's going to be kind of a critical time, exactly when it makes that northerly turn. When it makes the northerly turn, we'll have a better idea whether it's further to the west or we'll really be able to zoom in on exactly the path. But models are converging on a solution that takes it closer to the west coast, certainly. The east coast now, in fact, completely out of the cone of uncertainty. So as it takes this track, it has a slight window of opportunity to intensify, maybe up to 150 mile an hour winds as a Category 4 storm, and then moving into our area, and it looks like it's going to be a nighttime storm. And it looks like this is going to be the storm we never wanted to see. This storm will likely start to increase our wind speeds as we head into Sunday afternoon to tropical storm force. This will increase our wind speeds to tropical storm force during the middle of the night, Saturday night into Sunday. And then by Sunday afternoon, we are very likely to see hurricane force winds here. And they could be strong hurricane force winds. We can see 100 to 110 sustained with gusts up to perhaps 140. We may even see 120 mile an hour sustained winds. And that's over a large part of the Sun Coast. So it's going to be a rough couple of days, no doubt about it. Today is the last good day for any kind of last-minute preparations that you may have and any last details that you need to take care of before you start to see the winds pick up and you need to be in a safe place and hunker down. If you are along the coastline, I will tell you that the storm surge potential is now coming in at about 3 to 5 feet, but that could certainly increase. We are watching across our region right now some chances of scattered showers, and our day planner showing, of course, not a bad day today, but increasing chances of rain as we head into the next 24. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John and Steve. We're going to go check on our first alert traffic right now. Those of you, we're in those precious moments if you're considering hitting the roadways, evacuating to higher ground. Traffic looking clear so far this morning, especially on the interstate moving in both directions. In Manatee County, down in Sarasota, no accidents and traffic looking smooth as well. North-south on the interstate again. And as we move towards South Sarasota County, that traffic on 41 clear and looks like, have some options there on the interstate as well.
Well, evacuations continue this morning across the Suncoast as people are still trying to make a mass exit out of Florida. This
as the deadly monster storm continues to rage towards the coast and grow even stronger overnight. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the latest from Miami.
Today, Hurricane Irma is inching closer and closer to South Florida with winds of 160 miles an hour. The storm now shifting significantly further west. The eye of the storm with its sight on the Florida Keys and Tampa. The National Weather Service tweeting, "This is as real as it gets. Nowhere in the Florida Keys will be safe."
We are running out of time. The storm is almost here. If you are in an evacuation zone, you need to go now.
More than 5.6 million people have been asked to evacuate, many of them living in low-lying coastal areas.
Cars for miles.
As time runs out, people are still trying to escape the storm. Traffic so bad on the 3 main routes out of South Florida, some people abandoned their cars because they've run out of gas. Those trying to get out by air finding themselves stuck. Fort Lauderdale's airport closed. Miami International suspending all flights. Those who tried to get in hoping to get a last-minute ticket stranded and bussed to shelters.
We spent hours trying to find flights and it's just been awful. We haven't slept.
Some Miami Beach residents are counting on their storm-resistant structures and are staying put.
We have enough food and water to ride out days of electricity, days of no electricity, and we have hurricane-proof housing. It's a brand new built building with cement.
Here in Miami, we're starting to feel the outer rain bands of Irma, the storm expected to reach South Florida by tomorrow morning. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Miami.
Well, here on the Suncoast, there are mandatory evacuations in place for flood zones A for both Manatee and Sarasota County.
Emergency personnel here getting ready for what could be the worst storm to make landfall in Florida's history. We're going out live to ABC7's Stephanie Roberts, who is outside the Manatee County Emergency Operations Center with more on what crews are doing to prepare for this storm. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. And as we stand here, officials are absolutely pouring into the Emergency Operations Center. They are sitting down right now to start to make decisions about the new model information that you heard John and Steve giving us, because that information, of course, just getting to them as well. The big question now is, should evacuation orders be expanded? And that is something they are going to consider now. They are speaking within themselves, and we are told that we should get an official decision on whether zones B or even C and D will end up needing to be evacuated here in Manatee County. Just to review, right now it is a mandatory Zone A evacuation, and that certainly needs to be heeded. I asked them this morning if there is one thing that I can share with our Suncoast viewers, what would it be? And their answer was heed the evacuation orders as this storm gets closer and shows that it is not going to become less powerful. They just want you to do what is safe. And that is what they're here to decide as to whether we'll expand farther out than Zone A. A couple of other things we want to share with you. Winds over 45 miles per hour, which we are expecting to see throughout the day Sunday. That is when the sheriff and the fire department will stop responding to calls. This is why if you're in a zone that's evacuated, you got to go, because they are not able to send their personnel out on the streets to help you. So that begins once those winds get to 45 miles per hour, and with high-profile fire trucks, it's even down to 35 miles per hour. Throughout the day today, we do expect to see more people leaving. You still have time. I drove south on I-75 this morning, and I was able to see the northbound traffic. Roads are quiet right now, and there certainly are stations that have gas. So again, if you are in an evacuation zone and you were thinking maybe you were going to ride it out, you are certainly being encouraged by all the county employees here. Reevaluate. It is still safe to leave. You still have time to evacuate. You just need to make a plan. Here in Manatee County, 22 different shelters are already open, and you can find out those exact locations online. Also, they want you to know not to call 911, and that's going to start immediately, unless, of course, it is a severe medical emergency. But if you have hurricane questions, hurricane stress, hurricane wonderings of where you should be, there is a citizens information line. I'm going to go ahead and give that to you now. If you want to grab a pencil, we will also have it on our website, and of course, it can be found on the Manatee County website. But the Citizens Information Line in Manatee is 941-749-3547. You can obviously understand 911 is going to get flooded with calls. They want to leave that line open for true medical emergencies. Also checking on the roadways, Florida has a great system for traffic information. It's all linked to 511. So you can go to Twitter, you can go to Instagram, and it is FL511 or FL511.com online. That'll show you if there's any problems on the roadways. But if you can organize this morning, if you're in an evacuation zone, it is time to go. We won't have the luxury of this kind of time tomorrow. Reporting live from the Manatee County Emergency Operations Center. We'll have the latest information as it comes in. Back to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. As she mentioned, we are waiting this morning for an official decision on whether Zone B and C will be evacuated in Sarasota County. As of now, mandatory evacuations in Sarasota County remain limited to those low-lying areas, the islands, and mobile home residents.
Yeah, Governor Rick Scott is set to make an appearance in Sarasota County later this morning for a hurricane briefing alongside our local emergency personnel. ABC 7's Bobeth Yates joins us live from Sarasota County's Emergency Operations Center with more on the governor's visit in just a few hours. Bobeth?
Well, yes, I'm right now at the Emergency Management Operations here in Sarasota. This is going to be the headquarters where they will be monitoring this storm moment by moment. Right now it's a little quiet, but in about a couple hours, 9 o'clock, Governor Scott, who has been touring the state, is expected to be here giving us an update, a full briefing on what we can expect statewide and also in this area. Now, so far, what we do know, as you guys have been mentioning, that mandatory evacuations have been ordered for Zone A, those in mobile homes, and also on the barrier islands. People have till 8 p.m. today to get out if they are already not out. Now, shelters count so far, about 860 people have evacuated to the 4 shelters that are currently open. 6 more shelters are expected to go online later today. 2 of those will be for special needs, and 2 of those also will be for pet-friendly areas. So people still have multiple options. Again, they're warning everyone to get out if you are in any of those evacuation zones. Again, A, the barrier islands, and if you live in a mobile home. The governor will be here giving us a full update as he goes through all the details of what Irma is doing and what is expected for this area. Now, what we've also been told earlier is that if you happen to not evacuate and you're in one of these areas, no one will be able to come and get you until after things have cleared and things are safe for the actual officials to come out. So we want to again advise everyone to take all the necessary precautions they can. If they need to evacuate, do so. And also just remind you that we will be here at this facility with officials inside here. Now, this building houses about 100 people, and they'll be on the phones monitoring, not just the phones, but monitoring the satellites to make sure they know exactly what's happening, and they'll be dispensing crews to areas that need all the assistance that they can get. Now, we'll keep you updated. Again, 6 more shelters will be going online later today. 2 of them will be for special needs, and another 2 will be for pet-friendly, those with animals that, you know, want to evacuate. And we'll keep you updated. Again, things are quiet here, but we'll expect more as the governor arrives to get more information, more details about what Irma is doing and how it could impact this area. And we'll bring you more details as we get it. Back to you.
All right, Bobeth Yates, thank you very much. And yes, we have many people standing by here on the Suncoast for reports from those Emergency Operations Center, and we will hopefully be hearing from them throughout the morning. Now, Florida Power and Light is also preparing for Irma's arrival here on the Suncoast.
That's right. Dozens of line trucks are staged at the Sarasota County Fairgrounds, ready to begin the repair process once the storm clears the area. The company is warning customers to be prepared to lose power during the hurricane.
This is the storm of the likes we have not seen before, not only here in the electric industry in Florida Power and Light, throughout Sarasota, throughout all of Florida. So we don't really know exactly what's going to happen, but we do anticipate that outages will occur, that they will be probably lengthy. In addition, instead of just potentially restoring service, we actually believe that we will probably be rebuilding out parts of our system.
FPL says customers can report outages using the company's mobile app, and they'll attempt to restore power when wind speeds are less than 35 miles per hour. We also have a link to their website and app on our website at mysuncoast.com. And the Suncoast medical community is doing what it can to provide emergency services during this historic storm. Sarasota Memorial's main hospital, ER and trauma center, and its emergency room in Northport will be operating 24 hours a day with a full staff. However, several of the hospital's urgent care facilities have closed or will close for the storm, including the one on St. Armand's, which closed yesterday. Others will close at 4 p.m. on Saturday and remain closed until Sunday. Other outpatient services will be closed through Monday, and the hospital is also postponing all non-urgent elective surgeries through at least Monday. Meanwhile, Manatee Memorial Hospital will be closing because the facility is under Zone A, which is in a mandatory evacuation zone. The hospital is working to move most of its patients to Lakewood Ranch Medical Center. The emergency room is closed, and the hospital expects to shut down by Saturday evening until the storm passes. And there will also not be any mail delivery today on the Suncoast. As you could assume, the U.S. Postal Service has indefinitely suspended all operations. If you have questions, you can call 1-800-274-8777. We also have a link to their website on mysuncoast.com. And John, lots of people asking with the recent track moving a little bit west, should they stay? Should they go? If they decided to stay, what do they do now?
Well, at this point, hopefully your shutters are up. If they're not, you do have a window of opportunity today to put those shutters up. We've been talking about this all week long.
Right.
If you are thinking about evacuating and you have not yet been told to evacuate, don't do it until you are told. Best to stay put. We don't want to see these roadways get clogged with a mass evacuation. I think it's also important to know that this track has shifted quite a few times, and it doesn't take much of a shift to the west or to the east, as we have seen, to impact our potential weather greatly. This storm has not made that turn to the north yet, and so we're going to be watching with great interest when it makes that turn. If it's 50 miles further to the west, you know, that could be a big difference in our Sunday weather and Monday weather. Right. So we're really forecasting this an hour at a time, literally. We're watching when we see the system begin to make that turn. For today, what could you do? Well, it's a great day regardless because of the expanse of this system. Our winds will be going up even if the core of the strong winds stays offshore. You should be policing your yard to make sure that all that yard debris is picked up and secure. And you should be making your last-minute plans about where you will find your safe room in your home should you need to go to that, and get that all set up and ready to go. Other than that, we have the forecast details for you coming up in a second.
All right, here's a live shot from West Palm Beach as Hurricane Irma inches closer to the state of Florida.
If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
This is an important medical announcement. Barred IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a barred IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Barred Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the barred IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
We asked you, Suncoast, why do you like ABC7?
I like ABC7 because it's local. It gives me all the local news, local weather. It's so local and so community driven. Haley Wilgus does a great job.
John Scalzi, that's my guy.
Bob Harrigan is wonderful.
Stephanie's my favorite. I like Scott Dennis. I like them all.
We're all very grateful that you cover what you do and you're here to participate with the community.
ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So our satellite presentation of Irma is still pretty impressive. I mean, a solid eye wall core moving along the coastline, northern coastline of Cuba. However, it is not as symmetric as it once was. We do have to see some drier air kind of entraining itself in, possibly because of land masses, possibly because of some shearing interaction with some trough aloft. In any event, it has not made that northward turn yet and probably won't till it gets to about right here, just directly south of the tip of the state. At that point, it will slow down and basically stall for a brief period of time. When we see the forward motion of this storm slowing down and stalling out, that's when we're getting a signal that it's about to make that northerly turn. And that'll be an important time for us. We'll be watching that carefully. Wind speeds right now are coming in at about 10 to 15. Not that bad yet, but we'll be watching these wind speeds rapidly increase as we head into the overnight tonight. Irma's forecast track with 155-mile-an-hour winds coming off the coast of Cuba by later today into tomorrow. Sunday at about 2 a.m. it starts lifting northward through the Florida Straits, moving through the Florida Keys. It looks like a Category 4 direct hit on the Florida Keys. And now, in deference to the computer models kind of narrowing in, the track having shifted a little bit further west is kind of identical to the 11 p.m. last night track, which keeps it really right along our inland areas. So that by I'd say probably by Monday morning, early Monday morning, basically middle of the night, we'll be looking at Sunday night into Monday morning, middle of the night time frame. We'll be looking at our winds rapidly increasing to high tropical storm force with some gusts to hurricane force. And then as the eye kind of moves on past, we'll be getting our strongest winds. By the way, when it moves north of us, we're not out of the woods. At the point that it starts lifting north, our winds become more onshore, and that is a bigger storm surge risk for us. And the storm surge right now is running around 3 to 5 feet estimated, but I'll show you some storm surge maps in just a moment. We have across our region very warm temperatures in the Keys, so certainly that will help sustain. But the center of the storm is forecast to move into an area here that you see colored lime and there's some reds. This is a wind shear map that shows you the shearing winds that could affect a hurricane. And as it moves further to the north, it will probably encounter some of those stronger shearing winds, which will damage a hurricane. So that is good news, but we'll probably still see a strong Category 2 or 3 storm very close to us as we head into the nighttime hours, Sunday night into Monday morning. Possible storm surge. These have just been run from the National Hurricane Center, and it shows you all along our barrier islands. Areas colored in yellow here have a 3-foot above ground level storm surge inundation. That's over part of the coastline. And then a lot of the coastline will see a greater than 1 foot inundation. This is for the northern part of the viewing area. Down through Siesta Key, a lot of inundation here with some areas that see above 3 feet. But really, the further south you get, the worse it gets. We start looking as we get down toward Rotunda and toward the mouth of Charlotte Harbor, some spots where the yellows turn orange. At that point, you're looking at a 6-foot above ground level storm surge inundation with current forecast models based on the current forecast track. So obviously that's going to be a rough go. Plus along the mouths of the Peace River and the Mayaca River as they flow into areas of Charlotte Harbor, you're going to get some very serious flooding there perhaps. So that's the way it stands right now with storm surge. We'll talk about the wind speeds. We'll talk about the potential for hurricane force winds. coming up in just a few. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at your first alert traffic this morning in Manatee County, looks like there is some congestion on State Road 70 heading towards the interstate. The interstate is looking clear right now, so if you are trying to evacuate or leave the area, you're looking pretty clear. And in Sarasota County, Bee Ridge and Clark Road heading towards I-75 seeing some more congestion, as well as 41 heading northbound. And South County looking pretty quiet this morning at 725.
We'll still head on Good Morning Suncoast. We'll tell you what you can do if you still need to get those last-minute supplies.
Plus, other things you can do to prepare just hours before Irma makes landfall here in the U.S. That's all coming up on Good Morning Suncoast. But first, here's another look at those phone numbers that you can call for questions and concerns statewide or in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Hurricane Irma expected to impact our area throughout the early part of the week. We'll tell you everything you need to know to stay safe during the storm. Monday on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
We'll continue to watch the storm's motion as it moves through Florida and let you know what the wind speeds are and when to expect better weather coming your way next week.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you. Monday on ABC7 News at 7.
What were the nature of the contacts between the Saudi family and the 3 hijackers?
Do we know all the facts about the Sarasota connection to 9/11? An exclusive interview with former Senator Bob Graham. I'm Alan Cohn. Join us for a very special Trapezoid.
Monday on ABC7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. We're taking a live look at West Palm Beach here in Florida, getting ready for Hurricane Irma. Right now, that record storm is churning at top wind speeds of 155 miles per hour. And remember, you can get the latest information on Irma, breaking Suncoast weather alerts, and much more by downloading our My Suncoast app.
That's right. Weather forecast, traffic alerts, and important news updates will be delivered directly to your phone. It is a great informational tool for Hurricane Irma. Well, ATMs across Florida are out of cash as people stock up just in case power outages from Hurricane Irma make credit card transactions impossible.
Yeah, many gas stations also closed across the state. Those that were open had waits of up to half an hour for gas. People looking for wood to board up windows, propane, and generators, but most stores were sold out.
People are in a panic because we have nothing in stock for what they want.
And what do they want?
They want Tapcons, they want paneling, generators, propane.
And here on the Suncoast, we continue to receive information from our viewers about supplies running low in our own area. We have John Scalzi up here with us. And John, what advice do you have for people kind of looking for last-minute supplies? Let's maybe start with water. I think that's always on top of people's minds.
Well, the one thing that we're going to try and avoid today is for people who don't need to be on the road to be on the road, because there could well be some mandatory evacuations called for later, and people from some of the keys and from some of the barrier islands and shorelines may need to be evacuated. So we want to keep the roadways as clean as possible. So if you don't have water, and if you are going to run out to get bottled water, then I would suggest calling first and making sure you know your destination has the water, so that you're not making useless trips and driving around all over with. Secondly, fill your bathtub up with water at this point. If you have any containers in your home, fill them with water right now. If you have empty, say, milk jugs, gallon milk jugs or such, fill those about 3/4 filled with water. Put the lid on them, put them in your freezer and let them freeze, because if power goes out, and power's going to go out, if power goes out, that'll help keep your refrigerated and frozen items cooler longer. But leave that space, because when water freezes, it expands, and you don't want to create a mess in your freezer. As far as food items go, spend the day at home preparing what you've got, and have it all ready to go in your refrigerator. And hopefully you'll have a lot of non-essential, or rather non-necessary to heat items around as well. Make sure you know where your can opener is, in case you have been using an electric can opener and the power goes out. You want to be able to get into those canned goods that you've stocked away as well.
All right.
Also, can I say one other thing? That today is a superb day for you to determine which room in your house is going to be your safe room. It is going to be an interior room, hopefully without windows, with a very sturdy, solid frame around it. Bathrooms are a great choice, because they are usually have some plaster and lath kind of construction. They have piping going through to help to reinforce. So maybe that will be your choice. If it is, make sure that you have emergency supplies in there, including a radio, including coverings, and I don't want to sound alarmist here, but coverings for your head in case that becomes necessary. And that will be your place of last resort in case the worst case scenario happens. And you know what? I'm a firm believer in expecting the best outcome and preparing for the worst possible outcome. Then you're covered, and that will give you peace of mind when you do that.
Yeah. And real quick, John, the people that aren't in an evacuation zone, they're outside of those flood zones that are a concern right now. We've gotten some calls from people who haven't had time to board up their homes, maybe haven't had time to board up those windows. Can they still find a safe spot in their home at this point? I mean, is that maybe the best option?
Yes, most likely can. We will not be seeing a Category 5 hurricane around here, or a strong Category 4 hurricane, the kind whose damage we have seen in the Caribbean. Certainly weak structures, mobile homes are very vulnerable to the kinds of winds that we will be seeing around here, but a solidly built home to Florida code will withstand this storm just fine. If you don't have shutters in your house and a window breaks, you're going to get some moisture in there, you're going to get some damage in there, but it would likely not compromise the structure. However, it's best to have everything shuttered up, in place, tightened up, buttoned up. As little as 5% of the exterior envelope of your home compromised can lead to some significant inside damage to your home. So if you have the shutters, put them up.
All right. There you have it. Well, the mandatory evacuation in effect for Sarasota County is also for Flood Zone A, which are these low-lying coastal areas for mobile home residents. Emergency planning staff is preparing at the Sarasota County Emergency Operations Center, which is where we find ABC7's Bobeth Yates with a live update now. Bobeth, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Now, as I told you guys earlier, there are going to be 6 new shelters going online right now. 4 shelters have been are online. About 860 people have already fill those shelters, so they're bringing 6 more on. We don't know the exact locations of those shelters, but what we do know is 3 will be in South County, 3 will be in North County, and 2 of those will be for special needs, and the other 2 will be pet friendly. Now those 6 shelters will be opening up at 10 a.m. so we'll bring you more details about where they actually are as soon as we get it. But we also have just found out that the National Guard will be on hand assisting Sarasota County with the operation of those shelters to make sure that everyone is getting in there and getting settled as they need be. Now they want us to remind you guys that guns and narcotics are not allowed, but you should bring all the supplies that you need as far as your bedding and food and everything else, and whatever you need for your pets. And we'll bring you more information about where those shelters are as soon as we get it. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Bo Beth. And now we're going to get another weather update from ABC7's Steve Newman, who is standing by, and John Scalzi as well. Gentlemen.
Thanks. We've got a full day really to all of today in the daylight hours to get ready for the storm. And right now it looks like Irma is skirting the northern islands of Cuba, where it's inhibiting its development. And we do have a hurricane warning in effect through most of Florida right now, from about Jacksonville, from Daytona Beach southward, all the way to the Florida Keys. On radar, the center is just barely out of radar range. John, why don't you pick this up here? You can see that the eye is just beginning to skirt the northern coast of Cuba.
Yeah, we are looking at the beginnings of showers beginning to move into the Florida Keys right now. The winds are not all that strong across areas of the Keys. They're coming in a tropical storm force right now, but we are being able to clearly see the eye of the storm defined by our Key West and Miami radar. So this is going to be a very powerful tracking tool for us as we head into the remainder of this storm event. We'll get a very, very clear idea of when it starts to stall out and when it starts to lift north. Heavy inundating rains possible for parts of Miami-Dade. Our rainfall amounts will be increasing as well. We'll give you the complete forecast coming up in a few.
Right, thank you, John. Taking a look at your first alert traffic once again, looks like 301 heading northbound, seeing some congestion. Also State Road 70 heading towards the interstate. We are told traffic is moving on I-75, but no real slowdowns to really be concerned about. So if you are heading out, I-75 is open and free this morning. There are a few cars on the roadway, but nothing to be concerned about. Clark Road heading towards I-75 in Sarasota County, seeing some slowdowns as well. And Business 41 heading northbound, also seeing some congestion. Looking pretty clear, though, if you are looking to evacuate and head out of the door this morning.
Well, there's a lot of information on social media about Hurricane Irma, and FEMA is trying to help separate fact from fiction. A section of the FEMA website is now dedicated to Hurricane Irma rumor control. Everything from shelter misinformation to fuel demand to contractor repairs are listed on the site. There is a link to that FEMA site and much more valuable information right now on our website, mysuncoast.com.
And there are also several phone numbers locally and statewide that you can call for information. The Florida Emergency Information Line is 1-800-342-3557. Those numbers are also on your screen. The Sarasota County Contact Center is 861-5000, and the Manatee County Citizens Information Center number is 749-3547. Now be sure to write those numbers down or store them in your phone. That's a great option, so that way you have them handy when you need them.
And here's a breakdown of the airport schedules in our area. Sarasota's airport will close to all air traffic tonight at 8 p.m. All flights Sunday are canceled as well. Tampa International Airport will also close to all flights tonight at 8 o'clock. And the St. Pete Clearwater International Airport closed yesterday at 11 a.m. due to a mandatory evacuation in Pinellas County.
All right, lots of people on standby across the Suncoast, across the state of Florida, and us here right here in the studio.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is that as this storm system approaches us, our weather will probably improve today. We'll probably see fewer showers around. We'll probably have a fair amount of sunshine. It'll be a hot, kind of sticky day. But don't be lulled into thinking that because it's a nice day today, it's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. The conditions around here are going to rapidly deteriorate. Have that forecast for you after the break.
All right, stay with us. We'll have more news and weather when we come back.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college, college goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with your pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror. Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Because my parents told me I have to be responsible.
Because my first coach told me, you can do this.
Because my boss showed me how to do a good job.
Because my teacher helped me see the choices.
I'm swimming faster than I ever dreamed.
I am a valuable employee.
I discovered that I could work as an artist.
I will be whatever I want to be.
Youth with disabilities should grow up expecting to work and succeed. For more information, visit whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
So here's your latest track update as of 5 a.m. We're kind of waiting for an intermediate update that comes in literally in about 20 minutes. That'll give us an update on the wind speeds and central pressures, which will be interesting to see whether interactions with Cuba or any upper level wind shearing that might be taking place have in any way impacted this storm and lessened its strength. But the forecast track will not change until 11 o'clock, and the forecast track right now carries it toward the west-northwest for about another 12 to 24 hours before we start to see that northward turn. What we'll notice first is a slowing of the forward speed. When we see that slowing of the forward speed, we'll know that we're onto the turn there, and that will be an important thing to know. So Sunday at about 2 in the morning, we'll start to watch that start to turn, impacting the Florida Keys with most likely a direct Category 4 hurricane hit with a monster storm surge. There's no place safe in the Florida Keys right now. That storm then lifts northward, probably coming in, still kind of early to tell. It could be really anywhere between Fort Myers and, well, you see the cone of uncertainty, how far it could be. But if the forecast tracks all verify, coming in somewhere around Fort Myers and then lifting northward, moving probably, if the forecast track verifies exactly, through the interior sections of Hardy, Wauchula, maybe inland even further than that. Again, let me stress, this track will probably change over the next 24 hours. The tendency has been for it to move further to the west. A 50-mile difference in position of this storm down toward the Keys has a large impact on the implications of the forecast when it's lifted north to our latitude. So it's kind of still a wait and watch to fine-tune our forecast. But because of the expanse of the wind field, it's safe to say that we will experience a very strong blow around here. Monday at about 2 a.m., Monday morning, basically in the middle of the night, Saturday night into Sunday morning, we'll probably be experiencing some of our worst winds. So this is going to be a nighttime storm, which is one of the scariest things, I think. You'll start to hear those winds howling, and I know in my house, even if the winds pick up to tropical storm force, the rafters start to howl just a little bit. You may indeed hear that sort of thing as this storm system lifts north. In fact, the winds may even scream if the wind speeds are strong enough. Right now, we are looking at a wind speed that is definitely tropical storm force around here, with gusts to hurricane force, likely to be hurricane force, minimal hurricane force, and possibly as high as 120 miles per hour, making it a formidable Category 2, 3 storm. I don't think we'll see a Category 4 storm unless this track shifts a little bit further to the west and it maintains its warm water supply over the Gulf of Mexico. The forecast for the wind speeds. Well, tropical storm force winds, we're at the top of the scale. You can expect tropical storm force winds and probably about a 4-5 hour period at least of tropical storm force winds, maybe as much as 10 to 24 hours of tropical storm force winds. Hurricane force winds. On the present track, our hurricane wind speed chances have gone up significantly since last we spoke yesterday morning. And now we're really right up there in the 80 to 90% percentile chance of seeing some hurricane force winds around. So there will be lots of power outages. There will be damage to mobile homes if it takes that track. There will be some structural damage to good homes. There might be some roof tiles loose. There will be lots of debris in the road, that sort of thing, after this storm passes by. The other thing we'll be watching carefully is storm surge and rainfall. Rainfall amounts have now gone up, and this could be a very big player in the days after the hurricane passes by. We could see, you know, if the track were just right, we could see as much as a 10-inch rainfall around here, maybe even more, maybe even a 15-inch rainfall. Not out of the question at this point. So we have to plan for that, and that, of course, would lead to some very serious low-lying flooding around here. Also, we'll be monitoring the potential for severe weather as well. So, again, let's just briefly go over the time frame. For today, not a bad day. Rain chances actually gone down just a little bit. Look for a daytime high that's warm and muggy. Then, overnight tonight, you'll start to see the tropical storm force winds begin to arrive. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll see a noticeable increase in wind speeds. Those wind speeds will be slowly increasing throughout the day. And then overnight, Sunday into Monday, you'll notice a rapid increase in wind speeds as that storm begins to approach. And then by later Monday afternoon, Monday evening, that will be out of here, and we'll start to inspect the damage. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look at traffic for those maybe thinking about evacuating this morning. Those routes to the interstate clear, and green is good there on the highway. North and south looking good in Manatee County. Let's head to Sarasota County, where that traffic pattern continues there for the interstate. Good north and south, and east-west traffic getting onto the highway looking good right now. Down in South Sarasota County, I know it's hard to tell there on the I-75 map. That is open right now, and traffic is moving smooth on the highway. Well, still ahead, we'll bring you the latest in Suncoast traffic, and we'll have much more from our First Alert weather team with answers to your questions throughout the morning.
But first, a live look at Naples, where they're getting ready for Hurricane Irma. Right now, the record storm is churning at top wind speeds of 150 miles an hour as it moves closer to Florida.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes, B, console her,
don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I am a veteran. My victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
At DAV, we help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory was finishing my education.
My victory was getting help to put our lives back together.
DAV provides veterans with a lifetime of support.
My victory is being there for my family.
Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Welcome back, everyone, to a special edition of Good Morning Suncoast, where we've been getting you ready for Hurricane Irma.
And we'll be bringing you updates after this show ends through our mobile app and website, so be sure to download the My Suncoast app and check out mysuncoast.com for the latest track of the storm, evacuation updates, and much, much more. This is a very fluid situation. Right now we have John Scalzi joining us on set here to answer a couple of your questions that you sent in on Facebook.
Yeah, we have
first of all, can I say I think everybody deserves a bit of good news.
Oh?
Please.
So
we'll take anything right now.
Right, thank you, Steve. So our hurricane has decreased a little bit in intensity, as I was mentioning in the last weathercast. We were expecting that because of a little interaction with the Cuban coastline. So the wind speeds are now down to 130 miles per hour, which makes it a significant Category 3 storm. You can see that on the map here. But it is forecast to regain an intensity that 4. Should be a 3. So we'll talk all about the forecast coming up in a few, but you had some questions.
Yeah, we had lots of people asking on Facebook, numerous people asking about storm surge. We know hide from the wind, evacuate from water, but can you explain that a little bit better to people?
Sure. The old adage in meteorology and emergency management is you can hide from the wind, but you run from the water. The evacuation zones that we have across our area are all based on inundation of storm surge. So that is why if you are requested to evacuate or ordered to evacuate, you must do so. Evacuations are also determined, evacuation zones, by whether or not you live in a structure that could be compromised, like a mobile home, or if you have any kind of special needs. As far as our current storm surge goes, based on the current tracks that we have, we are looking at about a 3 to 5 foot storm surge. But I showed you some maps that are run from the Hurricane Center. And they take about 4 hours for them to run, and they are run according to the individual storm characteristics. And right now we're showing some places, and I'll show those maps again later in the broadcast, of having about a 3 foot storm inundation, 3 feet above ground level. In some places around where the Myakka and Peace River kind of flow into Charlotte Harbor, it's even higher. Okay. Some areas around the southern tip of Charlotte County, right along the Gulf waters, are showing as much as a 6 foot above ground level inundation close to the shoreline of these rivers and streams. But that will be subject to change. It's still a long way off to talk specifics on storm surge until we have a better fix on the track of the storm and its intensity. But I think we'll probably see the most likely storm surge occurring for our area really almost even after the worst of the weather has passed, after the storm lifts north, because that's when our winds shift west, which is the bad situation for us in terms of storm surge.
All right, definitely good to know. Well, Melissa asked a question that I think applies to a number of people. She's in a 3-story apartment. She has boarded up her home, but board up or no board up, you know, is it safe to stay in a 3-story apartment if maybe you're out of a flood zone?
You know, to speak to Melissa precise, I can't tell you what the structural characteristics are of that 3-story building. I can tell you if it's built to code, if it's got good shutters on there, you're safe. The best place in a 3-story building, according to Hurricane Center research, has been toward the center and on the lower middle floors, like the 2nd floor or so. But in a 3-story building, you know, you're okay. And staying closer to the center of the building as opposed to the wings of the building.
Absolutely. And just a quick reminder, we are continuing to take questions on social media and our website, mysuncoast.com, throughout the morning. So if we don't get those in here, you can always check there as well.
Yeah, that's right. And other people want to know if you're what is giving Irma that push to go towards our side of the Florida coast? Irma asked, or Cornelia asked that question.
Well, what's been occurring is that there's a big high-pressure ridge sitting in the Atlantic that are directing our steering winds basically out of the west. That's pushing it to go toward the west. Now it's kind of on the periphery of that high-pressure ridge, and it's starting to lift northwest. At some point, the effect of that high begins to lessen as we get closer to a trough of low pressure that has sunk south over us and brought us yesterday's rains and the day before yesterday's rains. When that happens, when that weakness in the western extent of the Atlantic high-pressure ridge is felt by the hurricane, it'll start lifting north. So we're waiting for that effect to take place.
And one last question from me. If people decided to hunker down and stay here in Sarasota and on the Suncoast and Manatee County perhaps as well, what is your best recommendation for moving forward and weathering through this storm?
Stay aware. Don't panic. And be very careful, because if you've made all your preparations and you're in a safe place and you weather the storm, a lot of accidents and a lot of deaths occur afterwards during the storm cleanup phase. So pay attention, stay in your safe place after the storm, and don't come out of your house until you're advised it's safe.
All right, we'll stick around for more updates. We have one last look at Naples and Miami, as you can see here. We'll keep you updated online and on social media and right here on Channel 7.